Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I wanted to share the project that I created for my swap partner, Rosana. She is Zoe 2000, I believe it's RLH here on YouTube. We were swap partners for the swap over at myscraproom.ning, which was hosted by Lydia. She is at Triple Dog Dare You here on YouTube. And the swap was to alter Matchbox, and inside the Matchbox there had to be a little mini album. So the paper that I chose to create with was the Graphic 45, A Lady's Diary. This is the first time I've worked with these papers because apparently I've been hoarding it. It's just gorgeous paper, but I'm really glad I worked with it because it is gorgeous paper. So that's what I used for my project, and this is my Matchbox. So we were required to have an image on the cover or whatever of our Matchbox. I believe we were required to have lace and bling. We had to have feet, and these are vintage bingo markers that I received from Lisa. She's George Lisa here on YouTube. So these are actual vintage markers, or bingo markers. And on the sides, I didn't do anything except I used this like newspaper print type paper that was in the collection, and I just thought that was really sweet. So I left it like that. We were required to have a drawer pull or a knob. And there's the other side. I went over the whole Matchbox and the drawer with a couple of coats of gesso, and then I went over it with warm white acrylic paint. And then I used Mod Podge to adhere all my papers to the box itself. And I distressed everything using the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress ink. So I think it came out really sweet. And so for the cover, I knew I was going to fussy cut one of the ladies from the collection for my image, and I chose her. I thought she was really sweet. So I fussy cut her. After I had papered the top, I took this lace from Joann's, and I just adhered it all the way around. And then I took this pearl strand that I'd gotten at Hobby Lobby from the wedding section, and I went all around with the pearls. And then I had fussy cut these flowers from another page of the collection, if you could see that. I knew that the flowers I wanted to include would be fussy cut from the collection. I used some stickles in there, and I just adhered it onto the pearl, edging there, so it looked dimensional. And my image is on Pop Dots as well, so she's dimensional. And I went over her mink coat with stickles, if you could see that, really sweet. This is a part of an applique that I received in Iraq, and then I just adhered this small peach rose from my stash. I used this piece from the collection. It's the title to each page, and this one says Ladies Diary Collection Afternoon Tea. So I just used that as a banner there, and I adhered my bling. And I added the feather to kind of mimic the feather coming out of her hat here. I just thought it came out really sweet. Oh, here's shadow. And then I added this big, huge pearl down here. So that's the top. And then for the drawer, I added, this is a brad, Recollections brad, that, and I used this small doily and, just poked it through the drawer. And like I had mentioned before, my drawer kind of sticks. But there you go. And there's my mini album. So for my mini album, I just used lace to bind it. Actually, this is one piece of lace, and I just cut it into 2 strips. I believe they're from Gisella's shop, Lavish Laces. And the cover of the mini also had to have an image, so I used this piece from the collection of the 3 ladies there, really sweet. This little piece here says a Ladies Diary Collection, Delicate Details, which I thought would be a sweet title for this little mini album. I added this tiny trim from Hobby Lobby and this gold tan type of blingy mesh here. The peach flower is from Alex, Mrs. McCabe's Scraps, from our doodad swap. Then I added the Recollections bling. And everything is distressed with vintage photo, and I used my Mod Podge to adhere the paper to the chipboard. So that's the cover. And then the next page is simply this. And I just layered a couple pieces of lace. This is from Lydia, and this one is Melissa Francis peach crochet trim. And this is the next page, and because it's a ladies' diary, I thought it would be cool to use some vintage book paper. So that's what I did, and I had fussy cut these flowers from the collection, and I accented it with some glossy accents, if you can notice that there. And then I just made a little tag. And this little mini is, you know, big enough to put some quotes, maybe a couple of tiny photos, definitely some journaling. So really sweet. And then for this one, I just added a little bit of Recollections bling and layered these tiny halfback pearls from Roxy. Thank you, Roxy. And this small peach trim here. And this page, I just made a little pocket page here, really sweet. And I used this little doily from the Paper Bag Lady. I layered a butterfly here. And I used my Martha Stewart punch to give a little, you know, edging to the pocket. And then I just used my punch to make these tiny little tags. Whoops, there goes one on the floor. But they're just really sweet little pieces from the collection. And then the next page is this, and I just lined it with this trim from Lydia and some more of the tiny halfback pearls. And I layered another butterfly here. And then the next page, I just made a really sweet little photo mat. This little pearl trim here. This peach pearl trim, which I've had in my stash forever. I added some bling. And then the next page, I added another piece of book paper, and I fussy cut a few more flowers here from the collection, and I just made a little pocket of sorts where this little pull-out can come out. And you know, just a little place for little quotes or journaling, maybe a tiny picture, but I thought it was cute. It just fits right back in there. And then this page is the last page, and this is that clock paper. So I took one of the Recollections clock and I distressed it with vintage photo, tucked a little piece of lace there, and it just makes like a little pocket for another little pull-out and another little place for tiny little photos or journaling, maybe a favorite quote. And then that's my mini. So I thought it came out really sweet. I hope Rosana likes it. This is the inside of the box, and because this is a brad, I wanted to cover the prongs, so I just attached another doily with a little peach flower there. So the mini fits back in nicely. And I also created, oh, I'll do that in a minute. I also created a card for Rosana using the paper from the collection. And this is one of those paper bag cards. So I accented it with this blue cardstock on the back, and I distressed it with vintage photo. I tied it off with the rest of this trim that Lydia had sent me. Thank you so much, Lydia. So for the front, I think this came out really sweet. I used some peach cardstock, and then I layered this piece from the collection on top, and then I rolled this back, and I added a little piece of the trim from Melissa Francis and a peach or a pink flower from my stash. Really sweet. And then this piece here, this frame, it actually goes all the way around, is one of those crocheted adhesive frames from K & Company. So I adhered that, and then I took this piece from the collection and I backed it with some of that light blue cardstock, and then I raised it on pop dots and kind of offset it out of the frame a little bit. I thought it came out really sweet. And then I added my flower cluster. I used a doily from Julie the Paper Bag Lady, and then I added this beautiful peach flower from Wild Orchid Crafts. I believe these two are from Craft Supplies 1, and this is, I believe, a Recollections Rosebud. This piece here is some of that trim from Hobby Lobby. You know, some of that new, I don't know what you call it, and I don't have a piece here. But what I did was I just rolled it and then adhered it that way and stuck a little pearl in there to act as a little rosebud. Really cute. I tucked these peach beads underneath, and then I added these flowers from my stash. And this lily I received in a rack. It's like one of the foam flowers. It's really pretty. So I added those. I thought it just came out really sweet. I was really pleased with myself. And then for the inside, for the inside of the card, I used some book paper here, and I just layered it with this blue cardstock, and then just took this image from the collection. And then I laid this trim from Joann's, and then layered it with the halfback pearls. And this is more paper from the collection. And I just added a couple of stamped images that she could use in her projects. This one is from, I believe, Rubbernecker Cafe. I got it at the expo. It came out a little bit blurry, but I think she'll still be able to use that. Really sweet. And then I stamped this stamp. So I thought she could color them or distress them or whatever. They might come in handy for her, and they suited the ladies' diary theme. And then the inside of the card looks like this, and I'll write my message here. And I created this using, you know, lunch bag, a white lunch bag, and I can put my little treat in there. So I thought it came out really super sweet. I hope she enjoys her projects, the projects that I created for her. And so there you go. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.